Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We finally have a new weapon in the Warzone. It is the Finn LMG, and as we read the description of it, we feared it could be the next Bruen, but it turns out to be an absolute fun, amazing gun with multiple gun builds. That, heads up, not completely overpowered, still strong though. The specialty of the Finn LMG is it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different barrels. Obviously, not all of these barrels are good. The most important thing in this gun is you have something called the Pro Twist, for example, the long shot advantage. So you have the normal barrels and then you have the adverse barrels. The big difference in this is that the advanced barrel has a damage of 36, 36, 28, 28 on head, chest, stomach, and extremities. And the adverse barrel has a 28, 28, 22, 22. So the adverse barrel has way less damage, but the fire rate is 1000 RPM versus 600 RPM. So you pretty much do 3 shots when this gun does 2 shots. So now we could do 36 plus 36 is 72, 28 plus 28 plus 28 is 84. One big difference also, the adverse barrel has only a 487 bullet velocity, whereas the normal barrel has a 720 bullet velocity. Both have the same open bolt delay, so that doesn't make a difference, and both have the same reload speed. Big something to keep in mind. So the barrels don't change anything in that. But the big difference is more fire rate, less bullet velocity, less fire rate, more bullet velocity. But let's look at the barrels itself and see how hard they can compensate for the less and the more. So if we look at the barrels here, we have the normal XRK longshot advantage for AVLK build. It would add plus 42% bullet velocity. And then we have also on the other side, the XRK longshot adverse barrel, which has plus 59%. So if we put this attachment on plus a monolithic suppressor, those would be the 2 bullet velocity attachments. We do here 42%, and then monolithic suppressor adds the standard 15%. Then we go for no more attachments, and check out what does it look like now? What did we change? And we go up to a 1176 meter per second versus an 890 meters per second. And now let's see how much difference does that make in a time to kill chart. If we look at the both time to kill charts now, we have bottom the adverse barrel, so the higher fire rate, and we have on top the normal barrel. You can see here with open bolt delay on, so the gun shoots 67 milliseconds later when you click the trigger. We still have a 550 millisecond time to kill that's on par with an MP5. So the gun would actually be viable as an SMG, and on every range it's absolutely frying. This is quite crazy how well the gun is doing up to 60 meters, and then it goes significantly down where the normal barrel, due to the lower fire rate, that's only 600 versus 1000. 600 fire rate versus 1000 has a way slower time to kill. This is quite crazy, even though it has the 300 meters per second, almost higher bullet velocity on par with an HDR. The Finn LMG, as you can see here, up to 60 meters, an absolute fryer. Now let's see which gun is also good up to 60 meters. With the Bruen and the Kilo, both guns would be good up to 60 meters. Let's compare it. So we added the Kilo in blue and the Bruen in green. We're going to be deactivating the normal Finn LMG because, as you can see, it's like directly on the Kilo line, and it turns out that the Finn LMG with the normal barrel is straight up worse than the Kilo, even though it's an absolute laser. That must be said. So we're going to deactivate that, and if we see it versus the Bruen and versus the Kilo with the open bolt delay, the gun is just doing absolutely fantastic. We get like the best time to kill. Here comes though the interesting part as always. If we put the headshot multiplier in, that's where the Kilo brilliates in. That's where the Bruen brilliates in. So if these guns hit their headshots, damn son, that's what we're talking about. Realistically though, that's what we're talking about. Most of the time you're hitting extremities and chest. You're not necessarily hitting the head. I think especially on controller, it's always easier to hit the body than the head. So we have the Fin LMG going crazy, but not being broken, because as you can see, other guns have the advantage of completely out damaging you if they even hit one single headshot. Really do like though how the Fin LMG fits needlessly in the meta right now. Absolutely good gun. Now let's go and look at different builds for you to enjoy in the Warzone. We talked about it in the stats part. The adverse barrel is just the barrel to go for. It just has the best fire rate, the best damage together on any distance for this gun. But how does the gun behave if you just have the adverse barrel on? And which attachments do you need bonus to make then the gun work the best? Let's just spray 75 bullets straight in here. The specialty of the adverse barrels is they get warm and they get on fire. And you kind of see that easily here. The gun just goes crazy, shoots, and then it's warm and on fire. And just the recoil kind of stops at the end of the spray. But what we can here see clearly is we have the horizontal wobble, left and right. Which grip counters that? Commando foregrip, exactly. The vertical is not even that bad, but this one here, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. If I would now try to control shooting the gun, reloaded, 5 seconds, the biggest weakness of the gun, obviously. Can't be helped just with sleight of hand. And then we just try to control it now. Just try to shoot on one spot currently. As you can see, the gun just kind of does what the gun would without attachments. Just trying to control it here feels kind of iffy, goes up and down, goes left and right. The inside goes what we see here. Commando foregrip is absolutely needed, or even a merc / operator / ranger to take care of the horizontal, the vertical. But the vertical is never a problem. You can control that by dragging your mouse down. The horizontal is uncontrollable because you can't drag your mouse inwards. You can only drag it left and right, but therefore you increase the crazy behavior of the gun. You saw the recoil with the adverse barrel. Crazy vertical up with the horizontal bounce. What attachment does compensate for that? As always, recoil stabilization and aiming stability from the Commando foregrip with the horizontal and vertical recoil control. Plus the VLK optic, who also gives horizontal and vertical recoil control, tac laser for some more ADS speed, and on top the monolithic suppressor for the direly needed bullet velocity. That in total should compensate perfectly for the recoil the gun does. And it should be, in my opinion, currently the best long-range build for this gun. Let's try out the build we just whooped together for the adverse barrel long shot VLK madness. 75 bullets. Let's try out the build we just whooped together. Long shot VLK madness. 75 bullets on the wall and then recoil control. Also, hello Jimmy buddy. The 75 bullets are going in. The recoil is already way less. And what you can see here perfectly, we go up, no horizontal wobble, a little bit still. We have still a little bit horizontal wobble. You can see it here, bop, 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 bop. We're going up, a little bit there, we're going up. And then at the end, you're there magically. If you actually get your gun warm, if you get your gun hot, if you get your adverse barrel on fire, you know, 40 bullets out, 30 bullets, you're dead. How does that do now when we try to recoil control? So what we see here is that in between of the recoil control, I pulled a little bit too far down to compensate really hardcore for the horizontal, for the vertical. What we see here is that I pulled a little bit down to control the vertical recoil a little bit too much, so that made me go down and then back up again. It's like the funny part with vertical recoil, you pull too hard down, the gun itself corrects for it by pulling up, but we're completely rid of this left and right spray. Is absolutely clustered. Now we just have to play the gun a little bit more and get more used to this, so we can go absolutely frying on our opponents. We can get this out. But the gun with these attachments would be an absolute beamer. I mean, you see this here, gun is warmed up, going crazy. Let's go. Let's draw a quick verdict on the Fin LMG and then show you all the other builds that are viable with this gun. There's an SMG build, there's a hipfire build, there is this long range build, and there will probably be over the next weeks more builds surfacing, because one thing the gun does is it does damage. It's amazing, and you can play it in so many different ways because of the 7 barrels. The Fin LMG is good. It does damage, it's not broken. It can be used as an SMG. It can be used as an LMG long range, and it can be used in the mid range. I see it more like the Kilo, like the Grau, and like the M4. So up to 60 meters, the gun is a beamer, a fryer, and crazy. After 60 meters, it still works, but it kind of feels every now and then like a pea shooter, paired with an insane fire rate though. So for the long ranges, I would still say Bruen or PKM feel absolutely better. But this gun, first and foremost, together with the sniper, yes. As an SMG, yes, and also as an AR up to these 60 meter ranges with the potential to also do 100 meters if you want. Absolutely, we're gonna go and we're gonna be frying. Now let's look at the other builds to show you what else is possible with this beautiful gun. I promised many different Fin builds, didn't I? Well, here goes the chainsaw build. What is the chainsaw build? It's a full hipfire build, only attachments that help with hipfire. So this is the one that adds the most hipfire control, 67%, and you can't use a foregrip obviously because you have this upper grip. You can't also ADS anymore. So any ADS attachments is technically useless. Therefore, you actually put the Pro Twist barrel in, which gives you crazy fire rate, still good bullet velocity and a decent range, but it doesn't make the hipfire spread higher because the XRK longshot barrel adverse makes the hipfire spray bigger. This one only adds 1% to it. Then you can also add a compensator if you really feel like it, but mostly we just go for the monolithic suppressor to also be able to spray this on a little bit bigger range. Again, we don't need to look at ADS times, so attack laser is absolutely useless. Here, I would most likely go for the sleight of hand to just add the bonus reload time. Also, you could go for this belt, which takes range away, but also adds ADS speed, therefore it's not needed. Also takes bullet velocity away, so that's kind of shitty because we want to have the velocity. So we would slap on the normal 100 round mag here right now to just be able to go on and spray harder on everything. And this would then be the sleight of hand right behind me, XRK Pro Twist chainsaw hipfire build that you just run into a building and then you just go sleight of hand, 4.2 seconds reload speed instead of 5.5 seconds. Still long, but you also have 100 bullets. So you have like almost 3 MP5 max. Next build would be the SMG build to pair together with a sniper, for example. We would put on the XRK Pro Twist adverse barrel. It gives decent bullet velocity and fire rate, plus range, but without making the gun too slow. It adds plus 25 ADS frames only. That's pretty damn good, I would have to say, by maintaining still a decent bullet velocity and range. On top, you go for the attack laser because you want the crazy ADS speed. We can go for the no stock, even more ADS speed. Then under barrel, personal preference, you could go for the Merc foregrip, but you're not going to hip fire this build. You're going to be going for the commando foregrip to, as we said, the horizontal wobble of the gun, and to also not add more ADS frames. And now you could consider, yes, I want to use this on a decent range. I want to pair this together with a sniper, you know, like the MP7 K9, MP5 K9 build, where you then add the monolithic suppressor on top of this and have one hell of a crazy gun that can be used inside, outside, mid-range, and then together with the sniper build. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our video about the Fin LMG and the 3 possible builds that we gave you. I do think there's way more builds going to be surfaced over time. Personally, I do really prefer the VLK build, but I'm definitely going to be trying out the Fin LMG together with the sniper to just have a lot of brilliant, beautiful, stupid fun with it. The next weeks will definitely be Fin Zone for me to just see what can the gun do, what can we get out of there. We're also going to do a complete fin explain video as we have done for the Kilo, where we really go down into the gun stats, where we go complete recoil control, again, recoil behavior, where we check more different barrels and everything, check some different grips and see where that is going. Also, we're going to see some frac movies, obviously with the Fin LMG. We're going to have for you some highlights edited by our buddy Ray. I hope you're enjoying this, the new, like, you know, kind of videos we're doing. We have definitely evolved in the past weeks and month in the way we're doing this. If you have any critique to give, we're always welcome to receive. We're always welcome to improve the videos. If you're missing some crucial piece of information where you're like, man, I would have loved to know that, throw it at us. I'm here for you. I'm there. I'm going to be definitely trying to add that into the videos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We're so close to the 50K. We've been growing like... Hope to see you all back very soon and have a lot of fun with the Fin in the Warzone.